everyone, welcome to the second edition of We Go Camping. My name is Jonathan Ringdahl and I am a member of the board of directors for the Friends of Wisconsin State Parks, and I have a great appreciation for how beautiful our state park system is. When there were 65 Wisconsin State Park System properties in 2012, I visited every one of them. My last check says that there are now 76 properties to get out, explore, and see how beautiful this amazing state park system is. And that's because of our awesome friends at the DNR who keep adding these beautiful places for us to get out and explore. And it'll be my pleasure today to be your camp host on this adventure. There's more excitement and excellent programs ahead, not to mention kids projects and interactive songs that every camp must have. And we encourage campers to use the chat box on YouTube Premiere to ask questions about the presented topics during the show. Beth Geppinger and Michael McFadden are moderating the chat and will help with naturalist questions. As you can see, I'm getting ready for a kayak trip. I always use a checklist to make sure that I don't forget anything. The first item is nylon or polyester clothes because they dry faster than cotton. Very important when we're talking about water sports. And now, let's talk about our first program. Sometimes in my travel, I come upon sick animals, and I have to be careful for my safety and the animal's safety during such encounters. Usually these animals recover very quickly, and then they scamper off into the woods. However, sometimes wild animals have to be rescued because their injuries prevent them from being able to just get back up and go out into the wild and carry on with their lives. That's where the Mackenzie Center for Wildlife comes in, located in Poynette. So, let's watch wildlife technician Haley Parsons as she shows us what rescuers do for the animals.
Hello and welcome to the Mackenzie Center. My name is Haley Parsons and I'm a wildlife technician and natural resources educator here at the Mackenzie Center. The Mackenzie Center is an environmental education center that's home to 13 different species of native Wisconsin wildlife here in our wildlife exhibit. All the animals that call Mackenzie Center home are here for a reason. They cannot be released back into the wild because of injury or habituation to humans. So they live here where people can come and learn about native Wisconsin wildlife. Today we're going to learn a little bit about some of the responsibilities of a wildlife technician here at the Mackenzie Center. As a wildlife technician here at the Mackenzie Center, our job is to take care of the animals in the wildlife exhibit. Along with cleaning enclosures and preparing proper nutrition, providing daily enrichment is one of our responsibilities. Enrichment helps satisfy both the physical and psychological needs of our animals by allowing them to make choices and stimulating some of their natural behaviors. There are 5 main categories of enrichment, and I have some examples in front of me. Our first category that we use here at the Mackenzie Center is called food, and this might be providing a new or rare food source to the animals or presenting their food in a unique way. We might give them a whole apple, or seasonal berries, or hide mealworms inside pine cones. Another category is called sensory, and this is providing something that would stimulate one of their 5 senses. An example of this might be spraying perfumes or different sprays on a branch or a tree in their enclosure that they might rub on or smell. Another category is called social, which is providing sights, smells, or sounds of animals that they might interact with in the wild. This might be providing a decoy, animal fur, or antlers inside or outside of their enclosure. Another category we have is environmental, which might be providing a branch, a log, or a leaf pile in their enclosure for them to interact with. Our last category, cognitive, is providing an item that might be challenging to get to, but should end with a reward. This might be hiding their food inside of a paper towel roll, an egg carton, a box, or even underneath some seashells that they would have to lift up and find their food underneath. Let's head outside and check out some of the Mackenzie Center wildlife interacting with their enrichment today. Today we are providing the foxes with cognitive enrichment. I've hid small pieces of their food for the day inside paper towel rolls, and I'm going to place them in their yard for them to interact with. I'm going to walk over here and at a safe distance from the animal, place them on the ground, and let's see what they do. Today we are providing food enrichment for our eastern cottontail rabbit. I'm going to provide some of the food sources that she would already get, but I'm going to present it in a newer, unique way. I've attached this string to kind of make a clothesline, and I'm going to use these clothespins to hang her food on the clothesline. Now let's see if she interacts. We hope you learned a little bit about the importance of enrichment in the lives of captive wildlife. Just remember, wild animals get enough variety in their natural environment, so they do not need to be provided enrichment. We hope you learned a little bit today, and we hope to see you at the Mackenzie Center soon.
The Mackenzie Center has lots of animals besides rabbits and foxes. Native Wisconsin animals that you can find there include bison, deer, gray wolves, lynx, red fox, and raptors. In fact, one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me in the Wisconsin State Park System property was watching a barred owl fly down a fence line at the Mackenzie Center. Amazing. It was the coolest thing that I never heard. Anyways, other features of the Mackenzie Center include interpretive trails, exhibits, museums, and programming for school and youth groups. So thank you very much, Haley, for all the great work that you and the rest of the staff at the Mackenzie Center do and sharing a little bit of it with us. So now, let's transition and talk a little bit more about kayaking. And the next piece of equipment that we're going to talk about is the most important piece of equipment that you can wear and wear every time you go paddling. That is the personal flotation device. So, for a personal flotation device to be doing its job, it needs to be the right size, it needs to fit properly and be nice and tight, and it is the easiest way to keep yourself safe while paddling. How do we know if it's the right size and it's tight enough? I'm going to show you. So if I take my thumbs and stick them under my shoulder straps, and I lift up, and it looks like that. That is definitely too loose. What we're looking for is to make sure that it does not come up above my ears, because I do not have gills. I cannot breathe underwater. I need my nose and my mouth to do that. So I'm going to grab my straps, and I'm going to give them a nice tug. There we go. Getting them nice and snugged up. Got the side straps, shoulder straps, nice and snug, nice and tight. All right, here we go. Let's check again. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're safe paddlers. And if you get kayaking specific PFDs, they are actually very comfortable. So they're awesome. There's an egret over there flying by right now. right next to the bay here at Perot State Park. So that's really awesome. I love it. I can get video bombed by egrets any day. All right. And kids, make sure you tell your adults to also wear their PFDs when you go out, because we want to keep going and having more fun adventures. And if we're safe, then we get to do that. So that's awesome. All right, let's talk about our next segment. Up next, we have a tasty treat. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. I scream, you scream, we all scream for... I can't hear you, kids. Come on, louder. Let me hear it. I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. Ice cream. Yes, there's nothing like ice cream to beat that summer heat. However, I'm willing to bet that you have never made ice cream in a bag. Let's watch Sue from Devil's Lake as she shows us how to make ice cream in a bag. Take it away, Sue.
Hi everyone, my name is Sue. Thanks for joining me today. I've got a really fun project that you can make at home, at your campsite, or even at your picnic spot. Today we're going to make homemade ice cream in a bag. And to do this, you're going to need some simple ingredients that you may just have sitting around your house. You need some half and half. You're going to need some vanilla. You're going to need a little bit of sugar. And you're going to need some Ziploc bags. You're going to need 3 different sizes, kind of a sandwich bag size, a quart size, and 1 gallon size. You're going to need some measuring implements, and you're also going to need some ice. This is going to be important to make the ice cream. So to start off, what you want to do is measure about a half a cup of the half and half, and then we're going to pour this into our small sandwich bag. So that's about a half a cup there. And then you're going to put that, into your sandwich bag. So that goes in there. If you have somebody who can hold your stuff, that helps too. Then you're going to take about a tablespoon of sugar and add that into your cream, your half and half. Then you're going to take a teaspoon and you're going to add that into your cream. So we'll measure out a teaspoon, put that into the bag. All right, and you want to seal up the bag good and tight. Get as much air out as you can. And give it a good shake just to mix up the ingredients. All right. Now, you want to put this bag that you have all your ingredients in into the quart size bag. That's just in case anything might leak. It's all sealed up. Make sure all the air is all out of this bag too. Now, in your gallon size bag, this is where you're going to put your ice. And you want about 4, 5, 6 cups of ice in there. We're going to add a little more. And the real big ingredient that you need with your ice is salt. And that salt, what it does in the ice is it helps lower the melting point. It makes the ice melt a lot faster. And by melting it faster, it takes all the heat that you have in your cream. Even though it came out of the fridge, it's still kind of warm. It takes all the heat out of here, and that's what's going to make the ice cream. That's what turns it basically into ice cream. So the salt is important. You can use regular table salt if that's all you have, but if you can get rock salt or what's called ice cream salt, that stuff works pretty good. And you want about a cup of salt to go into your ice. Put that in your bag. And then you're going to mix that up, nestle your Ziploc of cream down in there. Now, this is the fun part on a hot day, is you want to shake it. If you've got friends with you, you can toss it back and forth. If you think it's going to be a little too cold on your hands, feel free to use oven mitts or towel, but when it's really hot, it feels really good just to keep shaking your ice cream up. So, what helps to do this so you know when to check it is if you've got your phone with, set the timer for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then just shake away. All right, we've been shaking for about 10 minutes now. We had to add a little bit more of the ice and salt along the way. but I think our ice cream is ready. So let's take it out of our bags. Ooh. Great to do this outside, it makes a mess. And our ice cream, you can shake it longer if you want, you know, thicker consistency. We've got about soft serve, so you could either eat it right out of the bag, or we're gonna put it in a bowl. So we'll put it in our bowl and dump it out. Looks pretty good. Now you could add chocolate sauce or your favorite ice cream topping. I'm going to add some sprinkles to mine. And you're ready for a tasty summer treat. Tastes pretty good. Thanks for joining me today, everybody, and happy eating ice cream.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm glad you didn't tune in earlier, because I was enjoying some delicious ice cream. That was amazing. And wow, that first half went by so fast. What a great collection of videos though that we had. So hope you enjoyed them. And thank you for the comments that you have been posting on the YouTube chat box. Please keep those coming. We love it. We would love to hear about your favorite place to camp. You can go on there and you can share that with us. You can also share with us your virtual campsite photos. Find the link on the We Go Camping webpage at wigocamping.org and share those with us, please. So let's jump back in and let's talk about more getting ready for our kayaking adventure. Hey, what about my feet? I have to look after those, so I have these special closed-toed water shoes to help protect my feet from sharp objects like rocks that are out there, maybe even some clams that are out there. So that's why it's important to have that, and it keeps our feet happy. And what do happy feet like to do? They like to dance. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, so let's keep our feet happy by having good footwear when we go out kayaking. All right, the next segment is going to be a song about bats. Earlier this year, I actually had one flying around in my living room, and I looked up because I was going, wow, that was a really big shadow. I'm like, oh, there's a bat in my house. The first thing on my mind was not to sing a song about bats. It was, how do I get this bat out of my house safely? Anyways, we have a song, however, from Chris Lillick, a Wisconsin master naturalist who likes bats. And now let's join Chris as she sings Going Batty. When you see the letters B-A-T-T-Y, feel free to join along with Chris. Chris, that bat almost looks real. How did you make it?
Hi, my name is Chris Lillick, and I'm a Wisconsin master naturalist, and I like bats. This isn't a real bat, it's a pretend bat. You can make one too out of a balloon, some sand, some cray paper, and a stretchy string. Bats are important for Wisconsin. They help catch all those stinging insects. Let's celebrate bats by singing a bat song. A small brown bat hung in a tree, and Batty was his name. Oh, B-A-T-T-Y, 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 and Batty was his name. Oh, a small brown bat hung in a tree, Batty was his name. Oh, A-T-T-Y, 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 and Batty was his name. Oh, small brown bat hung in a tree, Batty was his name, oh. T-T-Y, 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 and Batty was his name, oh. Small brown bat hung in a tree. Batty was his name, oh. T-Y, 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 and Batty was his name, oh. Small brown bat hung in a tree. Batty was his name, oh. Why? Why? Why, and Batty was his name, oh. Small brown bat hung in a tree. Batty was his name, oh. And Batty was his name, oh.
B-A-T-T-Y, and Batty was his name, oh. I am going to sing that song for days. Thank you for that. Let's see. Where are we in prepping for our kayak journey? That's right. Paddle. There we go. There it is. I found it. What do we do with this? Good. Kids, you know what I'm supposed to do with this? Oh, I just heard someone yell, put it together. Thank you. Really appreciate that. There we go. All right, I got it. Oh, that's right, now we got to know how to hold it. How do we do that? Well, we'll take the middle of our paddle, put it on our head, move our arms out about 90 degrees. That's where we hold our paddle. We do it. And then we use our torso to rotate as we go forward. We don't use our arms. We got these big muscles here. That's what we use. And as we're paddling, we have here, this is our power face, this curved side. That always faces us as we're going forward or we're going backward. That's how we do it. That's the right way to paddle your kayak. All right, now that we've covered that, we're going to take a road trip to a park that will surprise some of you. Let's see if you can guess which park I'm talking about when I give you a few clues. First, it is the site of the oldest Wisconsin town established by Native people over 1,000 years ago. Second, it is a park that is described as being a little bit of history and a little bit of mystery. Third, it is between Madison and Milwaukee. Have you figured it out yet? Anybody got a guess? If you guessed Aztalan State Park, you are correct. I've been there a few times and it fascinates me. The first time I went there, I went, wow, how did I not know this is in Wisconsin before now? I'm excited for you to share this special treasure with everybody.
Over 900 years ago, a group traveled up the Crawfish River in south-central Wisconsin in search of a new home. A place to raise their families and grow corn. Perhaps a place to expand or protect trade relations. A place to build a great walled town. Who were these people? Where did they come from? And why did they settle in this place we now call Aztalan? Over 1,000 years ago, a strong, complex society of Native Americans spread throughout eastern North America to the Gulf of Mexico. This civilization, known today as Mississippians, formed a society around religious beliefs which were reflected in their architecture. Some important buildings, built on platform mounds, are interpreted as temples or religious structures. The Mississippians built their civilization around farming.
They practiced maize agriculture, and not just maize, but also beans and squash. They lived in villages with sturdy houses and practiced a way of life with a hierarchical kind of organization.
The center of this society was located in southern Illinois, near the present city of St. Louis. This spectacular city is now called Cahokia. Some archaeologists believe that between 1050 and 1100 AD, a group of Mississippians traveled north from Cahokia, up the Rock River to the Crawfish River, and founded the town now called Aztalan.
The variety of vessel forms that are found, the particular kinds of pottery, is to argue that it's a direct relationship to the Cahokia site itself.
At Aztalan, the Mississippians lived with the late woodland people, perhaps as allies and trading partners. They transformed the village into a Mississippian-style town. Great walls of timber and clay enclosed the town, while interior walls subdivided the village of perhaps 500 people. Besides a central plaza, 3 platform mounds were built as bases for important buildings: a temple to keep the sacred fire burning, a mausoleum for the deceased members of the elite, and the largest mound for the probable residence of the ruling family.
It is a complex site, and this is what I find most interesting about the site, is how people who built Aztalan changed the way the land looked to make it into something that looked right for them. They built those platform mounds to raise themselves up. They built this fence all the way around, and they didn't just do that, then they built interior fences as well.
Decades of archaeological research revealed much about the history of this town and the lives of its people. The first and most extensive excavation occurred in 1919. Samuel Barrett of the Milwaukee Public Museum traced out many of the town's walls and uncovered thousands of artifacts. Between the late 1940s and 1960s, researchers continued with excavations using more modern technology, such as radiocarbon dating. Portions of the mounds were excavated and some walls were reconstructed. They also unearthed outlines and interior features of small but well-built houses. Dr. Lynn Goldstein of Michigan State University has led excavations since the 1970s and discovered new aspects of the town layout, including a food depot with large storage pits arranged in tiers.
We discovered 70 pits that were 2 meters deep and 2 meters across, and that was dug into gravel. And they're lined with mats, and then they sculpted the surface. So think about that, using stone tools and shell. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's a phenomenal thing.
One of the most revealing excavations took place in 1984 in a grown-over ravine along the banks of the Crawfish River, a place used by generations of Aztalan people to dispose of garbage. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee archaeologist Dr. John Richards led the excavation of the area and found neat layers sealed by time that help trace the history of the town.
The bottom part of the midden, the very dark band that you see that's labeled S11, represents a late woodland deposit. There are no materials in there that would suggest that there were any Mississippian people present at the site at the time this was being deposited. And as we proceeded up through the midden, we could see instances where people were dumping their household garbage, cold ashes from cooking fires, charcoal, broken bits of pottery, the remains of dinners, and filling this area up. But it wasn't until the very top portions of the Midden that we recovered the Mississippian pottery.
Bottom line is, guys, 1,000 years ago, this was a busy place. Now, we call Aztalan a place of history and mystery. And one of the big mysteries, after living here for about 250, 300 years, and building this big wall and building these mounds, for some reason, these people abandoned Aztalan. They just up and left.
But many archaeologists believe the answers to these mysteries still lie at Aztalan.
I'd like to see a lot more archaeology done here, and I would like to see archaeology targeted at addressing some of the issues that Aztalan is particularly capable of answering.
The uniqueness and importance of Aztalan in American history led to its designation as a National Historic Landmark. It is Wisconsin's premier archaeological site and is a place greatly respected and valued by contemporary Indian people.
It's important, it's rich, it's a tremendous value that can be given to ourselves as Native American people, young and old, traditional, non-traditional. It's a part of where we came from.
Today, Aztalan is a popular Wisconsin state park that attracts tens of thousands of visitors. The Department of Natural Resources offers regular tours. And the Friends of Aztalan State Park provide many volunteer services, including educational events. The park also offers a unique educational environment for school children to learn more about Native American history.
To make the arrowhead, they didn't have knives back then, so how did they chip the rocks and shape them?
Either with another stone or oftentimes with a deer antler.
Awesome! Yeah.
Aztalan State Park is open year-round, 1 mile east of Lake Mills, which offers several lodging, dining, and shopping options, and a variety of recreational activities for you to enjoy. It's also surrounded by many historic areas and towns. Come explore the mysteries of America's ancient Indian past at Aztalan State Park.
Wow, Ben, that was amazing. Man, imagine the difficulty of building those mounds with shelves and homemade baskets. Incredible. Wow. Place to go and check out and experience that and have this perspective on how amazing that park actually is. So swing on into Lake Mills, go over there, check it out. Now, let's jump back into the kayaking trip. I like to carry a few items with me to make sure that I'm going to have a good time out there. Sunscreen being one of them. Bug spray, another great item. Water, also a necessity. I have a waterproof case that I put my phone and keys in as well to protect them so that I can make sure and be able to drive myself home after I'm done paddling. I like to be able to do that. All right, now let's transition to our next video. Sometimes after an early morning rain or dew on the grass, you may find beautiful spider webs. And people that study spiders have told us that they have been weaving webs for 100 million years. Wow. And the amazing Beth Geppinger has a story for us about spiders. and she's going to talk to us also about making a paper bag journal. Therefore, I hope you have the supplies you need, including a paper bag, rubber bands, and a stick to help make this project happen. And Beth, what does the country Greece have to do with spiders?
Hi, I'm Beth Geppinger from Richard Long State Recreation Area in Kenosha County, and I'm here to share a tale with you today about ancient Greece. Arachne was a young lady who lived in Greece, and she was an excellent weaver and spinner. She wove beautiful pictures into her cloth, and it was magical. The cloth was magical. People came from miles around to see it and praise it. And pretty soon, that praise and attention went to her head. And she started bragging about what a great weaver she was. And anyone who would listen, she'd tell that story too. She'd brag about she was even better than the goddess Athena, who was long known to be the best weaver in the land. Well, soon enough, the goddess Athena heard about this bragging. And being a goddess, she didn't care for that. And so she challenged Arachne to a weaving contest. Arachne happily accepted. The date was set, they set up their looms, and they began weaving. Arachne wove, her nimble fingers would fly over the loom like a cloud of butterflies, where Athena, she took of the sunbeams, the beautiful blue sky, and the shimmering clouds. They wove all through the day, long into the night, and finally, as the sun rose on the next day, the contest was done. And Athena got their first look at Arachne's weaving. She gasped in amazement and despair, for she knew she had lost. Her tapestry, though stunning, couldn't compare to Arachne's. Now Athena, being a goddess, didn't really care to lose, especially to a mortal. So she angrily turned to Arachne and said, "You like weaving so much? All right, you, your children, and your children's children will weave for the rest of eternity." And so to this day, Arachne weaves and spins her webs all over the world. And on some summer morning, when you notice a web with dewdrops glistening like diamonds on its delicate silver threads, you can see for yourself what a great, marvelous, wonderful weaver she is. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about spiders. Now, I know not everybody loves a spider. In fact, arachnophobia, or fear of spiders, ranks pretty high on the things that people are afraid of. But I'd like to share some insights with you to hopefully make you hate them a little bit less or even love them if you already like them. First of all, spiders are in their own family. They are not insects. And their family is named after Arachne. That's arachnids, the weaver in our story. Now, spiders have only 2 body parts compared to insects, which have, I bet you know this, 3 body parts. And spiders have 4 pairs of legs, or 8, compared to insects who have, I bet you know this too, 6. And they have 8 eyes. Now, Wisconsin, we have about 1,100 different kinds of spiders. And every single one of them has silk, but they don't all use their silk to weave webs. Some of them hunt down their food, like the wolf spider. And spider silk, for its size, is stronger than steel. And it's been used for centuries for things like Band-Aids. It helps stop bleeding. And in South America, tribes used to use spider webs as bags. That's how strong it is. Now, I do want to talk to you about spider bites. A lot of people think they're being bit by a spider when they have a mysterious bump appear. But in Wisconsin, even though all spiders are venomous, only 3 kinds have fangs strong enough to bite our tough skin. So it's really rare if you get bit by a spider. If you want to make sure, you're going to look for 2 puncture marks because spiders have 2 fangs. Now, lastly, I'd like to tell you about how important they are. Spiders are so important on this planet because of all the pests they eat. Collectively, the spiders of the world can eat 800 million tons of pests every year. So, even if you don't love spiders. Hopefully you hate them a little less or like them a little more, and like them enough to be not so quick to squish them when you see them. Thanks.
Beth, way to bring us another awesome video. Happy to have you back on this second edition of We Go Camping. Thank you. And I'm going to steal that paper bag journal idea to write about my kayak adventures. Amazing. Really clever. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about us, the Friends of Wisconsin State Parks. So it is our mission to preserve, protect, promote, and enhance all of the Wisconsin State Park System properties, including state parks, the state recreation areas, and the trails out there. We love these places, and we do all that we can to help these places, and we can use your help as well. So if you want to type in Friends of Wisconsin State Parks in your favorite search engine, go to our website. We would love to have you sign up for our newsletter, and then you can stay up to date on all these amazing things and learn about cool events that are happening in parks and how you can help out parks. And we want to do more of these presentations in the future as well, because we have a lot of fun doing them too. And we also have some upcoming contests, including a photo contest. You can get your picture in our calendar, and that looks amazing when you get it, and it's a very great sense of pride. We have our Gold Seal and Hero contest as well, and you can get out there and vote for your favorite park. And we want you to stay in touch with us, and we hope to see you out at parks soon, like the beautiful Perot State Park right here, or whatever parks are near you. All right, so I want to talk about another facet of kayaking that's very important. It's important to let people know that are not on your paddling trip where you are. For me, hey Mom, going out on the water trail at Perot State Park. I should be back in about 2 hours. I'll let you know when I get back. If you don't hear from me in 3 hours, you might want to just check in with me to make sure that I'm safe. And oh, by the way, what's the weather going to be like today? Oh, okay, it's going to be sunny. All right, I'll make sure I bring a hat and sunglasses with as well. Boom, done. Simple, just another step in the safety process before we go out on our paddling trip. Now let's talk about something else that I'm really passionate about. S'mores. I love making s'mores around the campfire. If I'm feeling adventurous, I might make 2, maybe 3, mix up whatever kind of candy I'm putting on there. However, there are more than just s'mores out there. Jackie is going to share with us another treat. It has something to do with... Okay, I don't want to steal Jackie's thunder. So we'll just get the video going and Jackie can share with you what her special, amazing treat is.
Hi, I'm Jackie Scharfenberg, the naturalist with the Kettle Moraine State Forest Northern Unit. Are you getting kind of tired of having s'mores at your campfire, looking for an alternative? I have one just for you. It's called glazed apples on a stick, or what I like to call them, apple pie without a crust. So what you're going to need today is you're going to need some apples, green or red will work, a roasting stick, some cinnamon and sugar. I used about a half a cup of sugar with a tablespoon of cinnamon and mix it up, but make it to your tasting. A plate to serve it on, a cutting board, a knife, and a place to put some peels. You might also want to have a hot pad in case your roasting stick gets hot. So it's very simple, that's all you need. So you're going to start out is putting your roasting stick through the core of your apple. And you notice this one's getting kind of black? Because the first thing you want to do is take your apple, put it in the fire, and what we're going to do is called scoring or scorching the skin. We're starting to bake the apple, but we're also loosening up all that skin on it so it makes it easy to peel. So it doesn't matter if it gets black, just kind of hold it in there, let the fire do its work. You can hold it fairly close and get the skin all nice and black all over the apple. This takes just a, depending on how hot your fire is, it can go pretty quickly. So once you get it nice and black all over, bring it to your cutting board. Slide this out of the way for a moment. Hold it up this way and then you don't have to worry about it being hot, and you can peel all that skin off of your apple. So in a matter of time, interest of time, I already did that to one of these apples. So I have it all peeled off. Now comes the best part. Well, maybe the second best part. We're going to take our cinnamon and sugar and we're going to roll our apple into this glaze and get it all over. So the juicy apple will hold on to that cinnamon and sugar. So once you have it all rolled in the cinnamon sugar, we're going to take it back to the fire. This time we're going to hold it a little higher. What we want it to do is we want that cinnamon and sugar to caramelize. Ooh, one of those fancy cooking terms. What we're doing is cooking the apple and the juices come out and it's going to mix with the cinnamon and sugar and it's going to start to get bubbly and juicy all over. So it's baking the apple. Can you see how that's getting nice and bubbly and juicy on that side already? Doesn't take much. Just kind of hold it in, but not so far that it burns, so kind of watch it, keep rolling it. It's kind of like toasting a marshmallow. All right, that's looking pretty awesome. So now we're going to take it back to our cutting board and we're going to cut off the parts that have been cooked. We're going to let them cool just a little bit, and while those are cooling we can re-roll this in the cinnamon sugar and do that process one more time. You might be able to do it 3 or 4 times until you're down to the core. Now that our apple's cooled off, this is absolutely the best part, is to eat it. Ah, delicious. So I'm Jackie from the Kettle Moraine. Enjoy your camping this weekend if it's at a state park or if it's in your backyard, and give glazed apples a try.
This program has made me really hungry, and I'm guessing for some of you, you're sharing that feeling. So, the We Go Camping staff hopes that you have been able to download the animal activity booklets that are going to be featured in our next program. They will help you become an animal detective. So, we find Master Naturalist Tom out in the field who's going to teach us about these amazing booklets. Tom, what do you have in store for these fine people today?
Hello and welcome to Nature Around the Corner. My name is Tom Lentz and I am a Wisconsin Master Naturalist. I am in the northern Kettle Moraine State Forest at the Long Lake Recreation Area. In today's video, you are going to have a chance to be nature detectives and solve real nature mysteries. Now, good nature detective needs tools to do their job. And your tool is going to be the Wisconsin Explorers book for 2020. In a moment, you will see a link on your screen to download your free copy of your book. All the books are age appropriate, and as a bonus for doing all the required activities, you will have an opportunity to earn a really cool patch. Now that you've downloaded your free copy of the Wisconsin Explorers book, it's time to start solving some nature mysteries. So let's begin, because the very first mystery lies right behind me. The answer to this first mystery lies on page 7 of the 3 to 5-year-old and page 4 of the 6 to 8-year-old Explorer books. Your first mystery is covered with holes. Who went here, and what were they looking for? If you guessed a woodpecker looking for food, you are correct. The hole was made by a pileated woodpecker, one of the largest in North America. It is the size of a crow. Unlike other woodpeckers, pileated makes large, oval-shaped holes. Our second animal sign mystery lies on the beach right behind me. I've noticed some animal tracks in the sand. So let's try to figure out exactly what is going on. Turning to the first section in your book, can you identify the following animal tracks? These tracks were found on the beach. Who went here, and what was this animal looking for? If you guessed a raccoon looking for a fish dinner and perhaps a freshwater snail appetizer, you are right. Well done, nature detective. These tracks were found near the water. Who made them, and what was this animal in search of? If you guessed a white-tailed deer looking for a drink of water, you are correct. You are on your way to being a master nature detective. This last set of tracks was made by two animals. Can you identify the tracks and figure out what was going on? These tracks were made by a coyote and a rabbit. It appears that the coyote was chasing the rabbit. Animals are divided into three basic groups. The herbivores, which are the grass and plant eaters, the carnivores, which are the meat eaters, and the omnivores, which eat both plants and grasses as well as meat. Now there's an old saying, what goes in must come out. So here is your final mystery, the scoop on poop. Using your books and looking at the following pictures, you will need to determine whether the animal is a herbivore, a carnivore, or an omnivore, and what just might be in their scat or their poop. By looking at an animal's scat, you can often determine what kind of animal it is, where they've been, and what they've eaten. So, are you ready for your final mystery? Here we go. The answer to this final mystery is found on page 5 of the 6 to 8-year-old Explorer books. Pictured here is the gray wolf. Is the gray wolf an omnivore, a carnivore, or an herbivore? Are you ready for the answer? If you guessed a carnivore, you are correct. In a wolf scat, you will find fur, feathers, and bones. Our second animal is a black bear. Is a black bear an omnivore, a carnivore, or an herbivore? And what is found in its scat? Are you ready for the answer? A bear is an omnivore, and oftentimes their scat is filled with berry seeds, fur, and animal bones. Our final picture is that of a white-tailed deer. Is a white-tailed deer an herbivore, a carnivore, or an omnivore? Are you ready for the answer? A white-tailed deer is an herbivore which feeds primarily on plants. As a result, their scat is oftentimes piles of pellets. Thank you for helping us to solve some of nature's mysteries. Awesome job, nature detectives! If you enjoyed today's video on animal signs, make sure that you tune into this YouTube channel for my other two videos, The Wildflowers of Wisconsin and The Frogs of Wisconsin. Whether you live in the city or you live in the country like I do, you never know what nature has in store for us just around the corner. This has been Tom Lentz with Nature Around the Corner.
How many of those animals were you able to ID? Nice. Very good. Good job. And if you haven't yet, we hope you all can download those discovery booklets. The link can be found at the wegocamping.org website. So go there, check it out, get those amazing booklets, and that can be found under the activities section on the website. We're almost ready to get going and go kayaking. However, I feel like I'm missing something. Wait, what was that? Oh, a kayak. Of course. Be right back. Okay, I think I found it. It's being a little bit shy right now about coming on the camera. Can you give me your best kayak call? I'm sure there are some of you that have hooted for owls. It's a little known fact that you can hoot for kayaks too. Maybe we do like a barred owl. Woo hoo hoo hoo. Woo hoo 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 hoo. No kayaks yet. Maybe a great horned owl. Hoo hoo. I think it worked. Look at that. Good job for those that hooted along with me. We got it. Awesome. All right, so we got our kayak now. So I just wanted to say that on behalf of the Friends of Wisconsin State Parks, we are all very thankful that you have taken this about an hour to spend with us, and we really appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for taking this time to watch this program with us. We value your thoughts and ideas of how we can do the program better. So if you will please go to fwsp.org and click the virtual camp-in icon and find the evaluation. We would love to hear how we can do better. So we've got our gold seal contest coming up, our photo contest. We would love to have your participation in both. And Chris Lillick is going to send us off with a song featuring sign language. Some of you may recognize the sign for I love you. So please join Chris with this great song.
Skidamaringa-dinga-ding, skidamaringa-doo, I love you. Skidamaringa-dinga-ding, skidamaringa-doo, I love you. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you in the evening and underneath the moon. Skidamarinka-dinka-ding, skidamarinka-doo. I love you.